to begin.
Hey, what is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Social Primate Podcast. As a quick reminder, go hit that follow button, go hit that subscribe button, follow the podcast, show your love, and I guarantee you that the love is gonna be thrown back towards you. I promise. It may not be by me, but in one way or another, you're gonna receive some love. So keep an eye out, and when it does, please remember Social Primate. Today's episode is with Daniel Beltran. He is the founder, he is the CEO, he is the creative behind Cruel Deathwear, and today he joins me to discuss the ideas of perseverance under pressure, overcoming our self-imposed limitations, and pursuing projects that bring personal fulfillment. Those are key things that we got to remember when we're pursuing a passion or a project, or you're getting involved with somebody. These are things that you got to remember because it's not easy, and there's always going to be doubts, there's always going to be fears, but it all depends on you. So we got to learn to manage these thoughts and seeing how we can turn them into from negative into positive ones, and just again help reinforce what we're trying to accomplish. So with that being said, today's music is brought to you by none other than Sexual Purity with their song Convulsion. This band has come up in the last year during COVID, and honestly, it's one of these bands that I've listened to and I'm just like fucking mind blown on their sound. And again, this is just my taste. These are personal music taste. You know, again, every now and then you come across music that's just like, fuck, that's just cool. And this is one of them. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Go follow them on YouTube, follow them on Bandcamp, follow them on Spotify, go show your support on Instagram, and do what you do. Yeah, by this point, I think you guys know the routine. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and we'll see you next week. What is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Social Primate Podcast. Today we got a very special guest. We got the great Daniel Beltran. What's up, dude?
What's going on, man?
For the people who don't recognize you by name, you are basically the founder, the creative behind Cruel Deathwear. What's up, man?
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, dude. It's really cool to be here.
I mentioned this to you earlier. I've been following your page. I think at the moment it's still under Cruel Deathwear, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So when I first started following you, I was like, dude, this is cool. You know, I like the darks feeling. I like the street style.
Boom, exactly.
It was just, it looked cool, man. It looked underground. So
yeah,
I started following it, and I actually came across it because there's this other pop-up, Tsunami 60, I believe, with Diana. She, yeah, she follows a lot of pop-ups. She's into the whole pop-up culture, and I came across some of the vendors that she comes across with. And dude, you were one of them, and I was like, I gotta follow this page.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's how people get recognized. You know, it's about really networking first, and then you start figuring out all these other branches and pieces that eventually just kind of come together. And now we're here talking.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? I never would have met you.
Now, give us a little bit of background about what your brand is about, man.
Well, you kind of nailed it down right there. It's darker side, streetwear, underground stuff. That's mainly what I wanted to make. To be honest, I just wanted to make a hat at first. I was always sketching, you know, in between times, sketching little doodles here and there. And I'm a big hat collector, actually. I have a lot of hats. And I've always liked the LA hats. I just never really liked the fit of them. Like the hat that it was printed on, you know, like the MLB LA Dodger hats. I didn't really like the fitted hat of it, so I always wanted to make my own LA hat. So I drew something up. And then I got it digitized when I finally got like an iPad and Apple Pencil and all that. Did it all digitally. And that's when I made this hat. It was one of the first things I made.
Dude, sick. I like the take on the LA, you know?
Yeah. You know, the LA kind of like tagged up, and then the chain with some spikes around it. That was my own little throw on my, personal throw on it.
Now, like you said, like this kind of, it came from your want to kind of just create something, like to kind of just make something your own, right?
Yep. Call it my own. I had no intentions of making like a lot and selling them, but I knew when I was going to make one, most people don't make one, they don't do just one custom hat. So I had to make like a lot of them. Like, fuck it. I'm just going to make this hat and just sell them like as like a little, I made like my page, Cruel Deathwear. It started as just like an art account with my little graphic designs, little sketches here and there. And then I made this and I just sold them for, just like a little money that I was making. That's when I just decided to make a shirt, and people were like, dude, are you making anything else? Are you going to be dropping anything else? And I was like, what? Dropping what? Like, I just wanted to make a hat.
Dude, that's awesome.
So people were asking me for what else I was going to make. So I made a shirt, and that was the Cruel World one with the devil and the scythe looking over the world. And that was pretty good too. And it just kind of kept going from there. And now I'm here.
No, that's awesome. Because I think for beginners, like when I started Social Primate, it's a brand as well. Like it's and
right.
Something I want to focus a little bit on right now is just the branding part of just your business. Because I see a lot of businesses, like a lot of pop-ups, like a lot of little taco spots or like clothing and all that stuff. And there's one thing that I see it's a kind of lacking, and it's understandable why, because designing stuff, like making a brand, making it look like you can sell it to somebody, it's harder than people think. And a lot of people take the easy way out and just do some shitty ass designs, which is again understandable, because if you want something legit, you have to pay for a graphic designer, and that can be expensive.
Really expensive.
Branding is one of those things that you need to focus on. It's like you look at Apple, you look at Coca-Cola, you look at all these big brands. Yeah, they're big corporations, but they still have what we call, again, marketing and branding down. Like everything stay consistent. They're sending out a specific message.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like that's something that I try to apply on my own thing. And that's definitely something that comes out of what you're producing, and I noticed that with your Instagram page, that before it was just like artwork, but now it's becoming more of it looks like you're promoting, you're creating your own custom art. And it looks like you're really taking the time to create a unique look for it instead of just copy and pasting with templates and from other stuff,
Yeah, exactly. I do a little bit of everything. I do, honestly, I have no formal knowledge on graphic design. Mm-hmm. All my knowledge just comes from pen and paper. And then I got an iPad and an Apple Pencil. So I've just been transferring pen and paper to iPad and an Apple Pencil. So it's already digitized,
Yeah, dude, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really different, man, because I never would have thought I'd be making T-shirts with, my own designs on them and selling them and creating a cool little business and being part of something bigger. But coming after I did this hat and seeing the feedback I got, people actually bought them. I sold out. I had to make more because people were asking for them. People still do. So I need to make some more of these. But the whole process of going from pen and paper and having no knowledge of graphic design and just drawing stuff up with the Apple Pencil was really it was an easy transition. Yeah. What kind of made me trip out was people would always ask me, do I do everything myself? And I was like, yeah, doesn't everybody do their own designs? Isn't that what makes it your brand? And they were like, no, a lot of people buy from other people, the designs and stuff. And that's the first I've ever kind of heard of that. Yeah. Where you could buy artwork and kind of just use it as yours. I've actually thought about doing that, but I had more fun making my own stuff.
Right. Yeah. The same thing. Like I do graphic design, air quote, for a living. I do freelance artwork design outside. Cool. Yeah. So
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. So, that's where that whole branding with my podcast comes in. I'm just, like you said, you're based from what it sounds like, you're just handling this for the most part solo. You're just you're your accountant, you're your fucking marketer. Yeah. you're playing all these all these roles, and similar to what I do, and similar to a lot what other people do. We're the fucking owner, we're the founder, everything, right? Yeah, and it comes with a lot of responsibilities. Yeah, it's all up to us. So that's what I think makes it even cooler when you come across somebody that's handling all this shit and you find out dude, that's just him. It's only him. And you're what the fuck? And it's
not
just
easy, but man, it's really a lot behind it too.
Yeah,
long nights, all kinds of stuff, man.
Oh man, those
on
long
top
nights.
Of the regular 9 to 5, or and everything else at home.
Exactly.
That's what I mainly started for. It was a very good creative outlet for me. It was something that I kind of needed too, because I would always just I had a lot of wouldn't say I had a lot of free time, but I didn't know what to do with my downtime. Most of my downtime was spent, reading, which isn't bad, or reading a comic, or just chilling, literally just doing nothing. So with the brand now, I have something to do, and I have people asking me what's next. So it kind of puts a fire on my ass to kind of do something.
Yeah.
But I like things coming naturally too. I don't like to force myself to make a design. I have tried to do that before, and I wasn't happy with how it came out. And I was like, you know what, let me just not put this on a shirt. But I made it still. I'll probably go back to it. But most of the time when I make my designs, it's coming from something that I want to do, I would wear personally. Like I wouldn't make something that I wouldn't want to wear,
Yeah, of course.
And it's pretty cool. So it happens that other people want to wear it too.
No, and I think it's interesting to start with the fact that when you created the first hat, you obviously had to drop money to make this batch of hats. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of hesitation at the beginning when you're thinking about dropping money on specific things. Like I've had that, like, man, do I really want to make shirts? It's costing me like $12, $15 a shirt.
Yeah. No,
but you gotta
every drop.
Yeah. But you got to drop money to make money, right? That's the idea. But it's not until you do it, you see it become into a reality. And then again, you start finding an audience that likes your shit, that you're like, oh my God, I could fucking do this, And again, it gives you that fire on your ass, but it also gives you that motivation or a different perspective in terms of what you thought life was day to day, like you said, 9 to 5, I just get home tired, going to go to lay down, sleep. But exactly. We do the opposite. We jump on the computer, we hustle. Like I'm doing this before work. So we're all figuring out times.
Exactly. Yeah. I go into work a little later today too. That's what's cool about it, man. And even, most of my designs are done like on break, a little 10-minute break on my 30. Because when I'm at home, I'm just usually busy a lot with like the family and stuff. Or it's done at night when all the kids are asleep.
Dude, it's awesome. And this is what I want people to hear. The fact that just because you think that you are on routine, like, doesn't mean that you can't take, like you said, those 20, 30 minutes that you get for lunch, an hour that you get for lunch, and just try to do something productive for yourself. Like you're already giving all this energy and money to fucking somebody else. Like, why not do it for yourself?
Yeah, do it for you. Do it something that's going to be just, personal. And then it's getting out there as well. It's really cool. It really made me tap into my artistic side because I never really chose to do art much. Well, I would always draw and like doodle and stuff and fucking tag sometimes, but never taking it serious like this. So it's been really cool.
So do you think you started because you just felt like you saw that you had this time that wasn't being used properly, and you were like I got to do something, or was it more like you were just playing around and you just,
mainly started. So I started this like a year ago in like June. That's when I dropped the first hat. That's when I considered myself like a clothing brand, I guess. But I was doodling between like the beginning of last year. And it was like the beginning of COVID and all that shit.
Yeah.
So middle of COVID, I'm like doodling and drawing, trying to think of other ways to get some money. Hours are getting cut at work. That's when all that was going down.
Yeah.
So my wife was just like, why don't you, make a shirt, make a hat? And, I was like, I really like hats. And that's when it goes down to, I'm gonna make a hat because I'm always picky with my hats. People like to get me hats because they know I like hats, but I won't wear them because I don't like the fit. So yeah, I decided to make the hat, and I was like, fuck it. If I make one, I'm going to have to make a lot. So that's where it goes back to, like, I'm just going to start posting on this art account, and on my personal page, I got hats, and then just wearing it everywhere. Boom. Someone walked down and she's like, yeah, it's a cool LA hat. And I was like, yeah, it's actually my clothing brand. Check it out on Instagram. You can sell them for like $25. Boom. Cool. Another thing I did with these hats when I first dropped them, I donated about, I think it was like half of my sales from them to, it was originally going to go to a GoFundMe for the protesters that were all getting arrested during the, they were protesting. They were all getting like locked up for just protesting, it was.
Yeah, but they were doing the whole curfews and all that bullshit.
Yeah, all that shit. So there was like a big GoFundMe going on, getting some money to bail all those people out. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to donate half of the sales from LA, all the people who got arrested in LA to get them out. By the time I sold all my hats, they had the GoFundMe reached its goal.
Oh,
so
sick.
I donated it all to the downtown women's shelter in LA. So that was pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, they actually started hitting me up too to do more stuff with them, but they wanted me to like travel up to these other like pop-ups and stuff, and I wasn't able to at the time. So I told them next time. I will be working with something for them again soon, though.
No, that's good. I mean, that's another thing, another key thing, like just making your own opportunities better.
Yeah.
Better to say, because you can take opportunities that people throw at you, but unless you're really putting yourself out there and like you say, you took it into your own hands, not necessarily without the approval of anybody else. And you were just like, I'm just going to do this. And that opened doors for you, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I could have sold no hats. And for a while, it was like that. The main people who picked up stuff were like my close homies, which is great. You know, they show their support. And then it's just started picking up. People were just asking for these hats. And I did my first pop-up with my wife's friend. She has a little boutique going on. So she was doing her own pop-up and she needed vendors to fill in the space. So she had hit me up and we were like, yeah, I was down to do it. I had brought my sister. My younger sister, she has a small business too. She makes chocolate covered strawberries, the breakable chocolate hearts and all that. Oh, nice. So I brought her with me too. Yeah, it was devilicious. So yeah, we just started. That was like my first one. I wanted to go all out on it. So I made my custom tablecloth. I just, got little hangers. I got little things to hook to the wall to hang the shirts on. And it was a really cool turnout. It looked legit. And I only had like a hoodie and 2 shirts and some hats, but it looked really cool. I still look back to it on this day and I was like, it looked like a legit shop. So a lot of people said the same. So it was starting that first pop-up kind of like started everything else for the other pop-ups. I think the day right after that, I had another one with all of my buddies from the Harbor area. They're all like doing something right now. They got art pages. I'll give them all a shout out too, if that's okay.
Go for it, dude.
Yeah. We got my homie Gumsy Wumsy. He's got good art coming out. He does clothing too. Sick graphic designing. My buddy All Bite No Barks, my brother, he actually inspired me to do this clothing brand too. He's probably a big influence on it because I was doing a lot of the modeling for him, and he was just like, "Man, you should start your own." And I was like, "Fuck it," and I did. So that definitely helped a lot. And we do a lot of pop-ups together too with all these brands that I'm mentioning. Another one is Ohana Grip. They're from Wilmington. They do a lot of good stuff for the skaters. They just did a skate competition this past Saturday in Wilmington with all the other vendors that I just mentioned. It's big, man. Ever since that one, we're all kind of like in a little community now. We hit each other up if we got something going on. If you want to do a pop-up, we all hit each other up on a little group chat and get something going.
Dude, that's awesome, man, because you need to surround yourself with people who, I mean, and most importantly, they're creative like you. And at the same time, they're hungry for that, for whatever it is that we all want. We're just hungry for it. And that just keeps motivating you. Like you see this, your homie doing good. It makes you want to do better.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's all the people I went to high school with too.
Damn.
We lost touch, and then boom, we just see each other at these pop-ups now, all vending our shit, doing our thing. It's pretty cool. I'm still brand new into this, man. I've only been doing this for like a year, and they've been it for like a much longer time with like the art thing, so it's just cool. Very
uplifting, especially like kind of breaking down some of the stuff that you just said a few minutes ago. Like for sure, the whole COVID stuff, like it gave you people that desperation, dude. A lot of people were desperate. There was a lot of stress. There was a lot of free time.
Yeah, exactly.
And, there's this quote. Actually, let me pull it up right here because I was reading it earlier. I have this book called Unlearned by some guy named Humble the Poet.
Nice.
But I made a little thing here. It says, we're all getting knocked down in this fight for life, but not all of us are working to get back up. And that to me is like, how can I say, like a summary of what COVID has been. Like it's been really hard for all of us. Some we're at different levels of, economic levels, sure. But like internally, we're all struggling with some fucking mental, psychological bullshit.
Yeah, it's really true, man.
And a lot of us, we have to fight for it, man. We have to fight for what we want, and nobody else is going to fight harder than what you fight for yourself,
Yep. And quite frankly, no one else is going to do it either, nobody else, whatever anybody's going through, man, it's got to be you who at least wants the better for yourself, then you got to do it for yourself.
Dude, yeah. And there's this motto, I guess, or slogan that you have. It says, never doubting, never fearing, never kneeling. Yeah. Dude, that shit sounds hardcore.
Yeah.
Like, where did that come from? Like just breaking it down for the audience.
Well, just like that, I wanted a kind of a motto for my brand and for myself for the brand. And it was exactly that. Never doubting. I just kind of plain and simple, never doubting yourself, never doubting a decision you make. If you're going to do something, do it full force. Don't doubt yourself. I mean, everybody has doubts. It's hard to not doubt something. But the point of never doubting is to never let those doubts win over you. You know, if you let a doubt win over you, you're just going to, damn, what if, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, even if you do it, you could be, what if I didn't? But I'm pretty sure it's going to be worse than the what if you didn't.
Oh, man, for sure.
So never doubting was one of the one that kind of hit me at all, because I would doubt myself a lot and I wouldn't pull the trigger on some things, and some things I would. But I remember the moments before I would pull the trigger on it. I remember those doubting feelings. I was like, should I do it? Should I not? Sometimes it's like a quick thing, like just do it. Sometimes it takes time. All right, I'll do it. And then bam, later in the week, you know, I did it. Overpowering like those anxieties, those fears. To the next one, never fearing. It's the same thing. Don't be scared to do something for yourself, for somebody else. Even if, you know, if you want to do it, and don't be scared to do it. And like I said, it's, you know, you're going to be scared. That's okay. It's about not letting that fear win over you.
Yeah.
There's a big difference. You can get scared. You could be scared all you want, but if you do it and you come out on top, bam, you know, and then once you do it once, you could do it again.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly. It's just you're just building that confidence, you know, and it's funny that you mentioned that, because the line between you doing it and not doing it is legit just like a push, dude. It's a push.
Yeah.
And like you said, if you don't do it, I like to think that at least at this point in my life, I've learned that the regret of not doing something and thinking about it years after is worse than me just getting it over with then and there, you know?
Even if you fail, even if it didn't come out to what you wanted to, you tried, you gave it your best shot. You know, you got to give it your best shot.
No, I mean, you got it, bro. I mean, like it comes back down to what we've been saying. It's like, you got to do it like for you, man. Like it has to come from you, because again, nobody's going to do it. And it's a sad realization that at the end of the day, is this going to sound kind of cruel, but people don't give a fuck, you know, like people really don't give a fuck about anything outside of themselves a lot of the time.
That's very true.
But it doesn't mean that you are not able to connect with somebody and you know, make it a little bit more personal. Yeah, exactly. Relate. Yeah. And I think once we come to that realization, it helps us become more free to that. And like we can take on anything at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Like I said, it builds that confidence. Once you do something, you know you can do it. You're not scared the next time, or you are maybe, but a little less. And that's just things that would always be pivotal points in my life. Either am I going to like the fight or flight kind of sense thing? Am I going to do it or am I not? Am I going to sink or am I going to swim? And life is always filled with like those little options where you're going to do it or you're not, and it'll change you different ways. To the last one, never kneeling. It's just never. It's like the same thing, never kneeling down, never stepping down to somebody or to something, just because, you know, someone else might be doing something like similar to you, or someone else might step on your toes. Don't step down from that. I don't know. You know, people are going to step on your toes about everything, you know, there's always going to be those people in life, in your workplace, you know, out in the street, in business, all that stuff. You never step down just from doing your own thing. Don't let it get to you. Don't let it break you. Never kneeling. You know, it's funny because a lot of people take those three and they interpret it to their own, because I see it all the time when I go to my pop-ups. Like this one time, this guy read the never kneeling and he took it to as the political statement that Colin Kaepernick did when he kneeled during the national anthem or something like that. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I was like, no, it's not in reference to that. But I mean, if that's what, you know, made him feel, that's crazy. That's what a lot of people comes to their mind, just little random stuff when they read things. So that's what's also really cool about it. I make my designs and people interpret them in different ways and they like them. And another thing that makes me feel good and like very empowering to like continue this is to uplift people. Somebody wearing a shirt where never doubting, never fearing, never kneeling, and it makes them feel good. It's like, all right, yeah, like that's something I believe in. Boom, let me wear that. Let me put that out there. That was one of my big ones. Never doubting, never fearing, never kneeling. It's mainly just about believing in yourself.
Yeah, like you said, like you wear something.
like the fact that we as a society, we really care about what we wear, right? Like, you know, a lot of us we all have different styles, you know, it's just noticeable. But it's that same thing, like depending on what you're wearing, you feel powerful or you feel sloppy and just, you know, whatever it is
out of it. Yeah.
So it's a big part of who you are, you know, of your personality. And like you mentioned, like when you're able to rock something that you feel connected to, and then you're emboldened to kind of like rock it, that you're carrying that energy. And, you know, people pick up that energy. It's like when somebody wears a suit and they look kind of snobby, you're like, oh, that guy's probably a douchebag.
Yeah.
But again, it's the way that you're dressed up, that you're fucking presenting yourself to the world, that helps you, or it can be a bad thing to kind of like, you know, make you feel certain types of ways.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna bring out here the pop-up stuff that you mentioned earlier, that you brought, you created your own like banner, your tabletop stuff.
Oh, yep.
Like just earlier this month, I was at an art walk, and it was one of the first times that I've actually been to the public and set something up. And,
I remember seeing some of your posts about that. That was really cool. I don't think I've ever seen like live podcasts like that.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't really seen it either. I think I might have gotten the idea because somebody once was doing like they were doing some stream, like they were streaming something. So I was like, you know what? I think it'll work with a podcast, you know, it'll just be audio and stuff.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get all into it. So I also made banners, the tabletop flyers, and, you know, just kind of presented it like a pop-up, but with audio. And dude, it was awesome because it brought this whole idea or this new love for my passion, you know, and I was like, dude,
it makes you want to do like another one, right?
it does. Yeah. And then, like you said, it looks legit. Like it solidifies the efforts that you're putting into your project.
Yeah.
And when people see it, like you said, even if they're just passing by the booth and they're just staring, like you already made an impression, and that's what you want.
Yeah. Like they walk by, they seen the symbol, they're probably going to see it again walking around. And that's what helps a lot too. People wearing it around, they see it and like, oh shit, I just saw somebody wearing that. Like, this is where they got it from. Yeah, this is it. Or even better, when I'm like wearing it myself and I'm at work or I'm walking down on something, like, hey, that's a really cool sweater. I'll tell them, yeah, it's this cool clothing brand, Cruel Deathwear. You should follow them on Instagram and check them out. Sometimes I say it's my brand, and it's I think that helps a lot more because they're like, oh shit, it's you. Like, this is your brand. I'm like, yeah, it's them. And they feel more connected to it, that they met the person who actually makes it.
Yeah, for reals. Yeah, I had a funny experience, two funny experiences the last few days. Like I'm just a regular dude, man. Like I'm just a guy who lives in Cudahy, dude. That's it. Like, that's it. But I went to some quinceañera, and some people that I know there, like some family, they're like, oh, this is your table. And they're like, hey, you're the guy who does a podcast, huh? And they had put Social Primate on the little name tag. And I was like, oh God,
that's cool.
A little recognition, you know? But
yeah, it's fucking trippy, man. It's really a trip that when people start kind of recognizing you, or like recognizing at least your work.
Yeah.
It really trips me out.
And then I had some of the booklets at my job, kind of like at the tabletop, like the little zines that I made.
Oh, okay.
And then somebody picked it up, and I was wearing their shirt that day. I was just doing my thing, and they just came up to me and they're like, are you the Social Primate? And I was like, what? I was like, oh, yeah. And they're like, oh, this is your book? You made this? And I was like, oh, yeah, I did. They're like, oh, that's awesome. Like, and then they just started telling me, like, you know, I've been thinking of starting a podcast, and I just came in here today and I saw the booklet, and it said about how to start a podcast.
How to start a podcast. That's so cool.
So I was like, hey, man, like if it helps, you know, hopefully that's like, it helps guide you in some sense. But it's just those things, you know, people are looking to find a way to get started, but sometimes they just don't know how to begin.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that was the same problem I had. I didn't know where to begin. I didn't know any printers or people who did embroidery. I looked to my buddies who were already had their brands. My tattoo artist, Tuna, he has his brand called Solid Supply. He linked me up with his embroiderer and his printer, and that's who did my first couple shirts and these hats. And I stuck with him most of the long ride. And it's been pretty cool.
Fuck. You basically networked the fuck out of your brand it's been a year, right? A year, you said June.
And honestly, I've just hit up my friends. I just hit up my friends for a couple help, a couple pointers here, a couple pointers there. Now we're all doing pop-ups together. I just did a pop-up with my buddy Solid Supply. We split a booth at a Harley Davidson. They had a bike night a couple of weeks ago. So that was real cool too. We just straight split a table like that. Half the table was his stuff, half the table was mine, and it was cool. we got two different styles, and it was really dope to see.
Yeah, and I think that's cool. It's really cool because I think that culture has been expanding a lot, like the pop-up businesses.
Yeah,
you just
definitely with the pandemic, this thing has been booming.
Yeah, dude,
and especially at shows, man, because I do a lot of pop-ups like at hardcore and punk shows, and before the pandemic, when I'd go to shows, I would never really see clothing vendors there. So I just started doing them with, like I said, I mentioned that other pop-ups I did with my buddies in Wilmington. I got a bunch of other homies in bands, so they would play a show, and we'd have like a line of us vendors right there. So it was like a whole cool little thing. Nice. That one that I mentioned just now, it had like a skate competition. We had like arts and crafts. They had arts and crafts going on, hot dogs, bands playing while the skate comp was going on. It was really cool. It was dope.
Yeah, I've seen the culture, and it is it's awesome. Which is, again, just kind of want to bring back like how I came across your stuff. It's like the fact that I had this friend who does pop-ups pretty often, and then her getting in contact with these other vendors or coming across people who do the same thing, and now you're networking and your brand is expanding without you even knowing. Like it's just like this subconscious thing that's at this point it's really taking an entity on its own.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just been really cool. A hell of a ride. Nothing that I've ever expected, and still it's like that, man. And there's been a lot of times where I was like, all right, I think I'm just this is going to be the last shirt. It's getting really time consuming. Mm-hmm. I lost my Apple Pencil, so I wasn't designing anything for like the longest. So after a while, actually, I got kind of fed up, and I had thought of a design in my head, and I just kind of wanted to bring it to life, but I couldn't draw it with my fucking finger on the iPad. So I just went old school and went fucking pen and paper. And then I made it on like the pen and paper, and I was like, all right, fuck yeah, now I want to do this. But I didn't have my Apple Pencil still. So I just went on OfferUp, bought one real quick, fucking redid it. And now I'm back.
And now I'm back.
Yeah.
I've been doing this podcast for almost 3 years now. Technically, it's been like 4 years, but.
Okay. Damn, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, man. But being consistent with it, it's only really been like 2 years, almost 3. Probably, I'll say 2 years.
It's hard, man. It's hard to stay consistent with something that's so, I guess, like time consuming, especially with all like the technical stuff that you got to do as well.
Yeah, man. There's a
editing and all that.
Yeah, dude. Editing, putting the design together, recording the intro, and setting these things up. It's a lot of time. And again, there's times where I'm definitely like, fuck, I need either a long break or maybe I should kind of just phase out. But like at the end of the day, what carries me is that it's going to be a failure that I have control over. Like, or I'm either going to have the control over its success or its failure.
And exactly. It's not going to be anyone else.
And it at least gives me some peace of mind that if I finish it, I'm going to finish it. But I've been telling myself that I'm going to have a good reason. Like if I'm going to end it, like I'm not just going to let my doubts get to me and be like, hey, like it's been slowing down or it's not maybe doing as best as you want it to be doing. Mm-hmm. And instead of having those negative thoughts, I try to just say like, fuck you. I'm just going to sit down and, like you say, as easy as picking up a pencil, even a piece of paper like you did, Yeah,
that's what's been hard too. It's just staying consistent and staying like on top of things. But, as a clothing brand, I have, like I mentioned before, I have like no experience doing any of this, to be honest, like running a business or, graphic design and stuff like that. The way I drop things on my clothing brand, it's a little scattered. I kind of just drop a shirt, a sweater, a hat, whenever throughout like that. And I see a lot of other clothing brands, they do like collections, like they'll drop it all collectively. And I was like, like I never thought about that. Making it like a collective drop. So it's different doing different things like that. I feel like it's easy to stay consistent doing it the way I'm doing it, just like a hat, a shirt, and then boom, just go through that. Yeah. A lot of the times I do the pop-ups and I still have some of the shirts and some of the hats, so I just throw them up on sale or just get rid of them.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, but that's the important part though. The fact that it sounds like you're taking the time to look at what other people are doing as well and trying to see how you can implement some ideas and or take them and make it your own as well. Because that's, I do that all the time. I listen to other people's podcasts and I'm taking pointers like, hey, like, or I listen to my own podcast and I'm like taking pointers and maybe where I can work on things. But you're open to continuing to grow, like you're not just setting yourself down to one thing and just, sticking by
trying to I'm always trying to like get myself better, especially, you know, my pop-ups too. I'm always trying to get like my setup better. You know, like the sales and, you know, marketing my Instagram while I'm at the pop-up. That's what I think I mentioned to you last time. Like I have nothing on my banner. I have like none of my Instagrams like around my pop-up. Yeah. So most of the time, like I just tell them like, hey, you guys can follow me on Instagram, and I'll put my like the QR code as a screensaver on my phone. So like, I'll just put my phone right there, yeah, and they'll just scan it real quick, and then boom, that's how they follow me. Because most of the time when I do pop-ups, it's either like at a music venue or at like a fucking park. You know, I actually did one in Cudahy the other night, a couple weeks ago too. It was supposed to be a show. It was in the river, in the LA riverbed.
What the hell, for real?
Yeah, it was like by the bike trail in Cudahy. It ended up being a little bit of a bust. The generator for the show, for the bands was fucking MIA. So it's like around 10:30, the fucking cops rolled through and just kind of like just shut everything down. No bands ended up playing. But I was like all set up there with like my Easy Up, my banner. I had like all my shit hanging and everything. Middle of the LA riverbed. It was a trip.
Dude, that's fucking awesome. Yeah, just a few years ago they had a arts festival down at the riverbed too. Like they had cool. It was like a little community event. Dude, it was awesome. And now I'm hearing there was a show there. What the hell?
Yeah, there's a couple shows there that happen there. Some I wouldn't really say often, but yeah, every now and then I think there's like some shows right there.
All right, let me know next time.
About like my pop-ups, they're in just random spots. So getting all of my stuff there is always a mission.
Oh, for sure, dude. I can imagine.
Like signs. So I mainly just worry about like the essentials, my product, the table, and the Easy Up.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what, because the good thing for you, at least, is if it's in the daylight, you don't need to have any like lighting or anything.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. Most of the time it's at night. So I just incorporated some like lights that like they're magnetic, so they hook onto the side of the Easy Up and they're just bright as fuck on the table.
Oh damn.
Yeah. So that's what another thing. Like I've just been trying to get like that pop-up down, because most of like I didn't get those lights until like a couple weeks ago. So for the past whole year, the other pop-ups that I've done at night, I've just been right there with my phone and my light, just, you know, lighting the stuff that I had. Yeah, and then I'm like, you know what? I gotta get lights, and then I'll remember I can get some lights. I got like a little roller dolly to just haul my shit up there in one go. Because most of the time it's just me or me and my wife that go to my pop-ups. So I usually have to like park, you know, unload all my shit, and then go find parking. And it's always like a bitch hauling like like, you know, all my containers, is the Easy Up, the grid walls. But I got it down to a T now. I got it down to a pretty quick setup. I got setting up my car, like ready to go. I got it all down pretty good.
Nah, dude, that's awesome. First of all, you're adapting to the whole situation. Right? And then you're also showing that you're not limiting, just because you don't have the lights. You didn't like, oh, I don't have no lights, I'm not gonna show up. Like, fuck it. I have to use my cell phone to light this up. Yeah, we're here, we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I want people to get. Like, it doesn't matter if you don't have, like, when I started recording podcasts, dude, I was doing it out of my car. I was just rolling up my windows, putting my cell phone next to me, and just podcasting.
Nice. That's fucking sick.
You know, but the fact is that I didn't let my limitations of not having the right equipment stop me from getting my shit done, you know?
Yeah, you wanted something to do and you did it.
Yeah. And yeah, so props, man. Props to that. The fact that you're continuing to adapt and you're still making the changes needed to get to the vision that you have.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just all about like, I'm always about like, especially with the pop-ups, just like I don't really know how to say it. Like I like to make things flow, you know. I don't like things being complicated or like, oh fuck, like, you know, this just, you know, I like to keep it simple. Just t-shirts, tablecloth, some hangers, grid wall, and then boom. I wanted to have signs that had all like my QR codes and all of this other stuff, but I was thinking, that's going to take a more table space where I could put a hat maybe or something else. So that's why I just went with having the QR code on my phone, and I just have like the little square device that takes like everything.
All the payments, yeah, you swipe.
Yeah, swipe, tap, all that shit.
Oh fuck yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
There's the way I found a workaround with those QR codes, because I had to put something up too, man, because people are not gonna come and ask me all the time, you know. But
yeah, exactly.
I got a frame, like the 8x10 frames, and I just put it in there. And dude, I was surprised at how many people were just walking up to the table and just not even talking to me, taking a photo and walking away. Like,
that's what they do. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I was actually thinking of making some stickers with QR codes, because I've been seeing that a lot around too. There's like slap around the whole like cities and shit. Someone just walks by, scans it, boom, there's my brand.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think from my understanding, the way it works is that since they already opened up your thing, the analytics, it's already going to start showing them like your, you know how you talk about something stuff. And it comes up on social media.
It goes on their data. Yep.
So it goes like that too with small brands. So like, that's fucking something for sure. For people
another thing too is marketing. I've mainly used like Instagram to market, and that's kind of the only way that I thought of like at first. But now I'm hearing like, people are making like TikToks and, Twitters and Facebooks for it all. Well, I had to make a Facebook for mine so I could have the Instagram shop, which is, again, like I have no experience with like all this kind of stuff. So now they had just redid something where I have to update some things and I didn't do it on time. So my Instagram shop's down. So I have to go through Facebook, which I like having just like one social media. I don't like having like a ton. So I had to make a Facebook to make a brand page for my brand. And then I could have a website for it through Instagram. So all that, getting used to all that too has been kind of complicated, but it's a necessity if I want my brand to grow and keep getting out there. But most of the time especially when I first started, my marketing program was just posting on Instagram every day. Now that's slowed down a lot, but that's just because I honestly need to set some time aside for some photo shoots to get, like some nice photo shoots with my new t-shirts,
products
that I have out there. That's definitely what I've been lacking on as of late, is getting some photo shoots and getting some nice, images of the product out there.
Yeah.
Right now, most of my sales are just getting generated through when I first make like the drops, some online sales, and a lot on the pop-ups because they could actually see the product there.
Yeah. Well, because online shopping still hasn't. It happens to me all the time. I buy a fucking shirt and it's smaller, or it's just
exactly. But most of the time, well, pretty much I like to say consistent. If I, the same shirt, style of shirt that I printed on the first one, it's the same one that I'm still using.
Oh, okay.
Shirts actually, yeah. And that's another thing. Like I wanted my stuff to be, like I said, stuff that I like to wear. I would get shirts a lot of band shirts all the time where it was printed on a shirt where it just, I don't know, for the fit for me personally, I didn't like it. Mm-hmm. I like, certain fits of it. So I found the shirt that I liked and I kept getting that wholesale, boom. And a lot of people like that same shirt too, is what I've been hearing. So I like that.
Dude, there's certain, like you said, everybody has their own preference. I don't like those thick ass shirts, like the really, really thick ones, like the ones that like gangsters used to wear back then.
Oh yeah, like those pro clubs and all that.
Pro clubs, yeah.
Yeah, the neck would be all choking you up right here.
Those are too heavy. But they definitely have some good fits. No, but again, man, it's I like to hear these things because when I bring back the whole thing, like surrounding yourself with people that are like-minded or that are kind of open to the idea of creating, like this is what happens with me with the podcast. Like I'm talking to all these people all the time. So It's like, if I'm keeping myself motivated back to back, without hesitation. And I think that's awesome because it keeps me on my toes. It keeps me ready to fucking throw down at any point.
Yeah, it gets you excited too.
It gets you excited. Yeah. That's I feel the jitters right now. Just hearing like how something that gets presented on Instagram, because you see a version, like I see your Instagram and it looks like at this point you got it down, right? Like it's a lock. But at the same time, in reality, you're still having these moments where you're still like, you're still thinking, you're still like,
definitely. I'm thinking like, how can my page even look better? Changing like the post, the way I post, the kind of things I post. But you know what? I that's what's been racking my brain a lot lately. But as of late, I just decided, the way that I've been doing it has been working out fine. So let me just keep doing it like that.
Yeah, no, it's exactly the train of thought that we should work at having, because a lot of the times it's easy to forget that we've accomplished things, and it's hard to go back to those accomplishments, because sometimes it's like I remember this one time in college, I did this badass artwork of some like still life, and then they're like, "Oh, well, can you do a better one?" And I fucked up the next one, and I got I had so much doubt after that, like, oh no, that was just a one-timer thing,
one-time thing.
And it's easy to want to get stuck in that mindset, like, oh, this episode was like good, but can I top it? And to go and do it back to back.
That, man. I definitely feel that for sure. I feel that the most, man, because especially with the shirt designs, like I make that first shirt and it was a hit. People still ask me if I'm going to reprint it or make more sweaters of it. And I'm like, I don't think I am. You know, I'm trying to make new designs, I'm trying to get some new stuff out there. But I'm always thinking like, dang, like that first one was really good. Like, how do I make something like that again? But I want it to come naturally. I don't want it to like force myself or be like, I need to make something good that people are going to like. Yeah. I feel once I start thinking like that, I'm kind of losing my original passion on why I did this, which was making something that I thought was good, not trying to please everybody else. I just feel like that is, it will bring more, it's hard to explain, doing things that I like rather than doing things for what other people like just brings a different product.
Yes.
More natural element to when I'm doing something where I like it, something that I want to do, and I feel good about it, rather than trying to think like, all right, what does everybody else like on a shirt? What does everybody else want to see? What is everybody else into right now that I can make somewhat similar and they can like it too? I feel like that's straining from my path. I like making something that I'm going to like, that's different. And then if other people like it, hell yeah, that's great. That's my audience.
Yeah. And it's you, like it defines you, you know, and
yeah,
that's the important, dude. I have that all the time. Like with the podcast, I'm like, what have I been talking about? Like, I'll look at the last 5 episodes and see what like the air quote subject was about. And then I'm thinking like, oh, okay, maybe I can like, what does somebody else want to hear? And I'm like, no, what the fuck? Like, at the end of
what
the
do you want to do? Like, what do you want to talk to somebody about? Like, what conversations do you want to have? Like, that's what I feel like would come more naturally, and it would just be more genuine that people would want to listen to.
Yeah,
and that's what I feel like. That's just the thought process that I have. Is like when you do stuff to try to please other people, it's not going to come out like natural. You know, it's going to be unnatural. It's artificial. You're doing this for somebody else to try to get their attention or their, like, you know, their view or their attention mainly. And I don't know. I've just never really been about that. Just trying to get other people's attention to please them.
Right.
I'm gonna do something that I want to wear, that I'm gonna feel good wearing, and that's gonna be my audience, of the people that want to wear this too.
Yeah, and
most of it is they hit me up and like, dude, I like your designs. It's a sick twist on it, and I've had people tell me like, your designs look different than all like the other, you know, stuff I see like at the mall or all the other stuff. I'm like, yeah, well, great, man. Fuck yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to be different. I'm not trying to be like the other thing is, all of my clothes is black.
Yeah,
I don't mind that, but I do look at my table all the time like, I need to add some color in this, but I'm more of a monotone person. So that's where I do need to expand more and get out a little bit more open-minded on getting some color into my brand.
Hey man, as long as you're open to it. I mean, again, you don't have to do it at the end of the day.
Exactly.
But, you know, it doesn't at the end. It also doesn't hurt to just like want to experiment. You know, and it's for your own.
And I do every now and then. I'll get like, I got some yellow hats. I made some pink hats and blue hats. It was cool. Like they were a hit. A lot of people liked them. It opened up to a lot more different kind of people who were. A lot of guys like the yellow hats and the pink hats. And they're all right, cool for sure. And a lot of girls like the other kind of hats, like the bucket hats that I had. I've been also just trying to find other stuff too, like that I can make. I don't like to just sticking to just t-shirts and hoodies. I'm in the process of I'm still trying to make that shoulder bag.
Dude, I was about to ask you about it.
Yeah.
Like, one of those things really, I want one. Like my girl got one. I mean, she looks pretty hard at wearing it. I'm like, oh my God, now I want one.
I want to find the right bag. I haven't found the right one yet to get like, you know, a good amount for, and then, you know, make it my own. But I'm working on it. I'm hoping people will be patient enough for it, because a lot of people have been hitting me up for that shoulder bag. I made a 1-to-1 for a giveaway that I did, and I just delivered it to my buddy actually not the other day, and I was really happy with that one came out. But I'm not able to get that bag in wholesale.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, so I was like, damn it. It was really cool. It came out clean as fuck. I was really happy how it came out. I was, you know, I'm just gonna do this for a giveaway, for the 900 follower giveaway. And now I'm almost at 1,000, so that's really cool.
Dude, that's awesome, man. That's fucking so cool to hear.
Yeah, it's a trip. And just to say like 1,000, it's weird. 1,000 people follow my Instagram page who are interested in my clothing brand. It's fucking insane. It's
cool, man. No, it's something to definitely be proud of. You know, I'm for sure still making my way up to that grand right there.
Yeah,
but I won't. It's been organic. It's been nothing but organic, and that's what I love. Like, I'd rather have organic than have
4,000 views. I mean, 4,000 followers and only get 30
followers. Yeah.
and you only get like 30 likes. It's like there's something kind of not matching there, you know?
Yeah, I see a lot of that too on Instagram, where like these companies will have thousands of followers, but I mean, I wouldn't really say like the likes matter, but yeah, if you got like thousands of followers and you only have like maybe 12 likes or something, is your product is the product really getting out there? Like, do these 4,000 people really like fuck with your brand?
Yeah.
Or is it just, just the number that you want people to see when they go to your page? Like, oh, yeah, this brand has 15K. Like, they're good. That's what I feel like most people go for it. It's sad to say, but it's true. A lot of people are like that. They'll go to a page and they'll judge it by the followers. They'll judge it by the likes. They'll judge it by just those numbers, basically.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm most of like the time. If they're those kind of people, they'll probably wouldn't even like my brand anyway.
You don't need them.
Yeah.
And that's one more thing that I kind of want to point out is that when somebody starts something, like whether it's a podcast, whether it's a clothing brand or any type of business with food or whatever it is, like it's easy to think that there's not going to be people who are going to like your shit, but there's always going to be somebody, man. There's always going to be somebody who's looking for that type of content. And then they're going to be like, fuck, I'm your number one fucking fan right now, you know?
Yeah. And that's what's pretty cool too. Cause like you said, like I'll get that. Well, I'll be at a pop-up at a show and I'll see some kid walking by and he's wearing my shirt and he sees me. He's like, hey, I'm wearing the shirt. I'm like, oh shit, what's up, dude? I'm like, fucking thank you. Yeah. I'll always snap a picture with them, or I'll try to. And it's usually sometimes busy. There's always shit going on there at the shows. Yeah. But it's really fucking cool. I was just at work the other day and my coworker sent me I was at home actually. My coworker sends me a picture of somebody wearing my sweater in front of like my job. And I thought that it was my coworker because he had bought a sweater from me. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, you snapped a picture of him. And he's like, no, this is some other random dude that was just coming through. And he had your sweater. And I was like, dude, you know this guy? Like, yeah. And he's like, what? I was like, yeah, I fuck with his brand a lot. I met him at a show. And I was like, dude, even just him hearing, like, he met me. And I was like, I'm just a guy, dude. You know?
Yeah. No, I get exactly what you're saying, man. It's a humbling feeling, you know, because it's nice to know that your efforts, again, are being recognized, you know?
Yeah.
And at the same time, it feels good to know that, like, you're not letting it get to you either, you know? Like,
yeah,
still...
I've always liked to stay humble. I don't like to get with my head in my ass, like feeling like I'm all that. Of course, feeling confident is a different thing than being like a cocky bastard, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm more confident and humble. That's the person that I am.
Yeah, man. And it takes time to come to that realization. So like, it's good that I think we're still at a adequate age to be like, you know what? We're young enough to do our own ventures and still kind of like be connected with how we know our life has been. Like, you know, we've had struggles, we've had shit that's been going on, but we're still coming out of it with the effort
we're still here.
Better ourselves.
Definitely, man. And yeah, there's always shit going on in the sidelines. You know, it's not just the brand. There's like always, you know, always, like you said, mental problems, personal problems, like at home. You got car problems, money problems, all this shit, man.
Fuck. Teeth problems. Fuck.
Yeah, teeth problems. Fuck,
that was me, dude. Fuck that.
Damn, man. How are you with all that, by the way?
Oh man, I'm gonna be paying like $2,500 for a fucking tooth fixture, dude. So it's like, so I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Now I'm fucked.
What the fuck to do? It's the worst.
But life goes on, and
yeah, man, it does. Not much.
Yeah, I just have to deal with the bill, and I mean,
dude, I've been there, man. Medical bills and all that shit. Honestly, when I think about shit like that, I'm like, man, it's fictional. This money doesn't exist. but
it's true, man. I mean,
it's like, man, come on, this guy's sending me this piece of paper with some numbers on it.
Yeah, that gives you some peace of mind. Like, yeah, okay, I'm just a player in this system. Like, fuck.
Yeah,
it's part of the rules.
Sucks too, man. But you know, doing a podcast and having a clothing brand makes it all, you know, the better.
It definitely does.
Another thing that I like it a lot that's made me keep doing it is my sons. They see me, you know, doing pop-ups, getting ready on my iPad design, and I was asking, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm making shirts." And now they know I have a clothing brand. They want to wear it, so I made some kid slides for him. I make him his own little custom shirts. yeah, and I get a lot of other people asking me too, like, are you making more kid stuff? Like, are you going to be selling kid stuff? And I'm like, oh shit, I don't know, people wanted some.
Hey
So
man,
that's been another
fucking.
thing that I've been thinking about branching out to, is making some small kid stuff. That's just a whole nother like branch though.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna get this down to a little bit more of a T. Then I'll probably make some kid stuff in the future. But definitely seeing them see me, hustle, work, create something more than just staying at home, or playing video games or just playing with toys. I bring them to my pop-ups. He helps me sell. He helps me get bags. He wants to like create a shirt. He tells me like, hey, maybe you should make a fucking dragon with fire breathing on Godzilla or some other stuff. I'm like, that's actually a crazy idea, my man. So it definitely is what keeps me going, because I think about stopping and I'm like, what am I going to tell him? He's going to ask me, hey, what are you doing with Cruel Design now? What am I going to tell him? Like, I wanted to stop. No, we're still doing it. So I definitely want to grow it for them too, and just let them see like you can do something.
Hell yeah. No, that's fucking powerful right there. Yeah. And that's exactly kind of what it touched base on the episode that I did, just the last one that just released with Gloria. We were talking about being parents and stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things is like, they see you, they're just seeing you from the outside, right? Yeah. But they're seeing you put that fucking hustle in, like they're seeing you do your own thing. It's only feeding them that mentality that they can do whatever the fuck they put their minds to.
Yeah.
And when they get older, not that we didn't have it like hard or that we had it easy, but there was a lot of setbacks for me growing up that I feel like I didn't really come to realize till later in my life now, that I feel like if I had that confidence instilled into my son, he'll have a better outcome per se.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. I'm all about communicating and communicating, letting them know like what, because they're kids, like they don't know anything. And as for us, we're just slightly older than them, tomorrow's a new day for everybody. So for me, communicating it and getting him to communicate, my kids to communicate is key. It's one of the most important things. Like if you're scared of something, that's okay. If you don't want to do something, that's okay. Just communicate it. If you're scared, it's all right. Tell me why you're scared. Maybe there's not a reason to be. Maybe if you do it, you won't be scared anymore. And getting them to overcome fears like that or overcome little stuff like that it's fucking great. So like going back to like the business, showing them that hustle and hard work pays off and it's just fun. That's the main thing that I want to instill in him, is like you can have fun and do something that you like and have it turn out good for you. Get a little money here on the side, get some creativeness out of you, sit down, create, draw. We sit down and we draw. Now we have like little drawing sessions. We make little designs. He comes up with like little t-shirts in here and there. It's fun, man. It's created a whole nother thing now. He hits me up to come to pop-ups. He asked me, when are we having another one? He asked me if we sold out of this yet. And I'm like, damn, no, we're trying, man. We're here selling this stuff. So it's fun.
Nah, that's good. It sounds like we have to keep doing it. There's more motivation for people who do have kids behind them. Sometimes you're single and you don't have anybody and you're like, fuck it. But for sure, then this is a whole different aspect that I think a lot of people do understand or can relate to, and it's just we gotta keep doing it, man. Like, yeah,
you got to, man. It's just even if it's not doing this, but doing something else, you got to be doing something to show them that there's more.
Fuck, man, powerful words. Now, man,
because like you said, growing up, I wouldn't really say we had like setbacks, but if I would have been communicated some things about life a little more or a little better, my outcomes or my choices in life could have been completely different.
Yeah.
But I always go back to, I'll leave things all the way they are because I like how things are now. I always chose to learn the hard way. I never really like got told like, obviously right from wrong. Yeah. But most of the time my experiences in my life came from just trial and error, doing something and not working out, trying it a different way till it works out, find it till it works out, do it till it works out. If you have help, get the help. It's always, if you have help, ask for it too. It's another thing where it goes back to communicating. If you need help, ask for it. If you didn't get that help and you could have asked for it and you just chose not to communicate that and you missed out on an opportunity or you missed out on doing something or trying something, it's just, it just sucks, like communicate, ask for help, Or if you don't want to ask for help, fuck it, try, fail, and then try it another way over and over until you get it. That's what I've always been. Because I never asked for help because I was never like, it's just hard to like communicating, you know? It was never in my like, I need help with this. Let me try to ask for help with that. And I started getting older and working jobs. We're like, all right, you gotta speak up. You have to, you know, like to speak up. You got to do something. You need help, ask for it so you can learn. And that's just, that's how you learn.
Yeah. No,
trying and failing or asking for help.
Yeah. And
none of it's bad.
Yeah. Not bad at all. I think for sure we have to work at being a little bit more vulnerable with ourselves and with other people, but at the same time, still standing our ground, you know, and that is possible, that we could find a balance with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
But dude, thank you so much for making the time to come on the show. Like, I hope this story is inspiring to people who are on the edge of deciding what they want to do. Or even if they're not, I just hope it's a conversation that they can take and just feel good about, you know?
Yeah, definitely, man. Thanks for having me on here. It's definitely been a cool ass experience being on my first podcast, Social Primates.
Dude, it's been a pleasure. Now, if people want to find information about you, about where you're going to be located next at a pop-up or what new merchandise you got, where can people find you?
So definitely check out my Instagram. It's cruel.deathwear. It's pretty self-explanatory. You'll see all my pop-ups there, but my next one is going to be at Revelation Records headquarters in Huntington Beach. This is actually really cool because, I listen to a lot of hardcore and a lot of punk music. Mm-hmm. Revelation Records has been one of like the pioneers since the 80s with putting great bands out, record labels, Gorilla Biscuits, Youth of Today, all these old school bands. And to be at their headquarters doing a pop-up there, man, it's fucking sick. This is actually my second one that I'm doing there. I got invited. The first one I did, I saw that they were doing one there, and I just hit them up. I was like, yo, I see you guys are doing a market. I got a clothing brand that I'm trying to grow. You guys mind if I fucking squeeze in here? And hardcore is a big influence on the brand and in my life. And I just told them a little bit about myself, and they were like, yeah, just come through, set up. So it's that. And honestly, that's how I get into most of my pop-ups. I just ask mm-hmm. most of the time. Now it's that I've grown and I'm doing pop-ups. Sometimes people ask me like, hey, we're doing a pop-up. Do you want to come? And that's what's fucking cool. Now people are asking me if I want to be part of their pop-up, and it's fucking awesome. Can name off some others too.
Yeah, man, go for it.
Hell yeah. That's what I had too. I had like a big whole shout out thing planned, but then my brain just like yeah. So my other homie TVA, he's got another good brand from the Harbor area. Man, this dude's been doing this. I don't know if it's close to 10 years or over 10 years, but he's had his clothing brand for a long time. You'll see his stickers anywhere else. I'm sure you've seen him. His sticker, his logo is it's a Frankenstein with like the Misfits logo right over it. It's fucking sick. He's everywhere, man. Everywhere. It's fucking crazy. His brand's pretty big too. So okay. He's gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. Albino Bark. My homie's food business, Cheese Boss, makes some bomb grilled cheeses, mushrooms in them, bacon in them. It's so bomb. Cheese Boss, check them out too.
Cheese Boss, right? You said?
Yeah, Cheese Boss.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I just did a pop-up with him too on the show that we did this past Saturday. My first time trying his food. It was really good.
Dude, thank you so much again for coming on to the show, and I hope people again just find some inspiration from this conversation, and obviously go ahead and support you as well.
Main thing I'm all about is just believing in yourself and doing what you want to do. Don't be scared to do it.
Hell yeah. Dude, thank you so much again. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, dude. You too. Catch you next time.
Man. Catch you next time, man. Peace.
Thanks.
I don't know. Convulsions of my